At that time, as Jesus walked by the Sea of Galilee, he saw two brothers, Simon, who was called Peter, and Andrew, his brother, casting a net into the sea, for they were fishermen. And he said to them, "Follow me, and I will make you fishers of men." Immediately they left their nets and followed him. And going on from there, he saw two other brothers, James the son of Zebedee and John his brother, in the boat with Zebedee their father, mending their nets, and he called them. Immediately they left their boat and their father and followed him. And he went about all Galilee, teaching in their synagogues and preaching the gospel of the kingdom, and healing every disease and every infirmity among the people. Oh,
Peace be to you.
So there's a monk praying in a cave. The monk's praying in the cave, and a young man passes by. And he hears the monk. So he steps inside and says, "Hello, hi." The monk ignores him and continues praying. The young man, believing that the monk just did not hear him, repeats and says, "Hello, hi." The monk says, "Hi, what do you want?" The young man says, "Well, I was just walking by and I heard you in this cave, so I wanted to ask you what you were doing." The monk says, "I'm trying to pray." And the young man says, "Oh, okay." And he leaves, and he's walking along. And then he starts to think, I wonder what it was that he was praying about. So the young man goes back to the cave, he enters in, and he says, "Hello, hi." And the monk's like, "What do you want?" And the young man says, "Well, I was just wondering what you were praying about." And the monk says, "My elder sent me here and asked me to pray for patience." And the young man says, "Oh, okay." He goes on his way. He doesn't get very far before he starts to think to himself, patience, that's something I could use in my life. Maybe I should go back and ask him to teach me about it. So he goes back and he enters the cave, but before he can even finish his question, the monk gets up and angrily chases him out. In our lives, it can seem sometimes like we have all these problems that are obstacles to us living a real Christian life. It seems like if we wanted to live a real Christian life, we have to go leave everything behind and be a monk in a cave somewhere. But as we can see in this story, what the monk saw as an obstacle to his prayer was actually the very answer to it. The young man was giving the monk an opportunity to display patience. We're not monks in caves, and in today's gospel reading, when Christ calls his apostles, when he calls on those that he is sending out in the world to preach his gospel, he does not turn to monks in caves. He turns to ordinary fishermen living out their ordinary day-to-day lives. Think about a few examples that you see as obstacles that you may have experienced in your ordinary day-to-day lives. One is car trouble. I've experienced a lot of car trouble. I used to have a malfunctioning sensor in the gas tank, and it would tell me that I had 40 miles left when I actually had nothing, and it resulted in me running out of gas on the highway, which is not fun. And especially because I thought it was my fault because I wasn't paying attention. So I was frustrated with myself. So when it happened again, and I realized it wasn't actually my fault, you might imagine, well, now I'm not frustrated because I know it's not my fault. Well, no, now I'm just frustrated with my car. But that could also be seen as an opportunity to exercise fortitude, wisdom, to go, instead of sitting there saying, why me? Why is this happening to me? To say, okay, well, where's somewhere I can get over safely? I can problem solve. Is there a gas station nearby? Is there someone I can call? Another problem that I'm sure many of you have encountered, it starts as pretty much as we're early to talk, we're old enough to talk, is gossip. We're at work or school or maybe church, and someone comes up to you and says, oh, did you hear about so-and-so, and he did this, and she did that, and he said this. And maybe, I don't know, maybe we already don't like this person, so maybe we want to hear about it. Maybe we're a little curious. We always want to hear other people's little hidden things. Maybe it feels good to believe that it's true. Could be true. Could not be true. We don't know. But maybe in that moment we're given an opportunity to practice or exercise a little bit of fairness to that person and say, well, they're not in the room to defend themselves right now, and I'm not exactly perfect myself, so maybe I can not participate, or I can remove myself from that situation. Another example. It's the end of a long day. It's time to go to bed. Maybe you're already in bed. But instead of trying to drift off to sleep, you pull out your phone and you start scrolling. And you tell yourself, maybe I'll just look at one more post or one more video and then I'll go to bed. But it's one more and one more and one more until we basically made sure that we're not going to get a good night's sleep. Could that be an opportunity to instead exercise a little bit of moderation and say, okay, maybe that's enough for tonight? One last example, something that's become so common, it's been declared an epidemic. The U.S. Surgeon General says that if you experience this regularly, it is as unhealthy for you as if you were smoking 15 cigarettes a day. Imagine that. And the U.S. Surgeon General has his own warning on every single pack of cigarettes, but he says this is as unhealthy for you as smoking 15 cigarettes a day, is loneliness. Loneliness has become very common, and there's a lot of reasons why loneliness is rising, and it can seem like something out of our control, and we can kind of bemoan that and be upset about that, or maybe we can exercise a little bit of courage. We can reach out to someone, maybe at school or at work or at church, that we've never gotten to know before, and strike up a conversation with them, strike up a conversation with a stranger, or reach out to an old friend that we've been meaning to reach out to for a while, but we keep finding excuses to put it off. Maybe there's some club or organization or a social hobby that we've been interested in, but we haven't quite taken the plunge yet. I want you to understand, my point is not to say that you need to try harder and you need to be a good person. You just need to not be frustrated when your car breaks down, and you need to not be upset when you feel lonely, or you're a bad Christian because you go to bed late. Christianity is not about being a good person. Christianity is about a relationship with Jesus Christ. My point is, if we can bring our problems into that relationship with Jesus Christ, then we can transform them from obstacles into opportunities. Try it this week, just for one day. Think of it this way. Instead of thinking with this mindset, the old mindset, this is the old mindset. My life is full of so many problems that I can't practice my faith. I can't be a real Christian. Try for one day with a new mindset. My life is filled with opportunities to practice my faith. My life is filled with opportunities to be a real Christian. Try that for one day and see if, like the apostles during an ordinary day, you will hear Christ calling on you.
Just one quick announcement. The first full week in August, August 5th through the 9th, we have Vacation Bible School. So there's flyers in the back, there's QR codes to sign up for it. You can talk to Ron if you wish to sign up for it. And we also need volunteers from our Goya to help assist with that. So if you're Goya age, please volunteer to help with the Vacation Bible School. Okay, please come forward, Friend Idro.